Red Dogman in here. We are going to talk about the POX in here. I'm going to finally show you my current setup with it. Love this thing. Immediately when I started playing with it, it just felt like a mini Torrid to me. And I know that many of you guys that actually follow me know that I love the Torrid. I've got that thing multi-forma'd, and it's just phenomenal in many situations. Well, this guy is just that, and even in some cases a little bit better is what it feels like. What I like using this one for is that area of denial effect, more or less, that you can give by trapping in, like hallways of where enemies are coming in, doorways, that type of stuff. Depending upon what type of mission you're doing, this thing can be extremely effective at blocking enemies coming in. They'll just die just going through this toxic cloud that comes up. It does have a low magazine, does have low ammo, so you got to be careful with that. You're definitely going to want to have a mutation mod on there, an ammo mutation mod, just so that way you don't lose the ability to use this weapon. Okay, but of course, you're going to have to be careful and be picky about how you do it. With the weapon, of course, it's picked up in your Tenno Biolab. Okay, and then once you have it, you can craft it that way, or you can buy it in the marketplace for 175 platinum. It does deal base toxin damage, which is pretty cool. Obviously, that's not where I'm at now that I've got it all built up, but toxin damage is actually pretty good. It ignores shields by default and directly damages health. Okay, so that's always something good. The clouds that hit on the ground when you throw this, they do stack, so that makes it even better in terms of damaging. It's pretty fast on the reload. You can't inflict damage on yourself, and you can get the status chance to 100% real easy just by putting a couple of status mods on there. Or I should say 3 status mods will get you to 100%. 2 status mods get you like 98% or somewhere in the 90%. We'll look at it here in a bit. So it's nice to have. You're going to do what you need to do. Overall, you can pretty much take this thing anywhere. Now, unlike the Torrid, when you throw those sacks, the little things that come out of this actually explode on impact, so they don't stick to the surface and just stay there. Over time, these will actually explode on impact. And you can't use the secondary exclusive mod of concealed explosives for this, which is fine. It's not even a big deal to me in this case. Compared to that Torrid, though, this POX actually can deal more damage and inflict status effects more quickly. Haha! But the spores aren't going to stick to enemies, so you can't use, or it sticks to the enemy and the enemy walks around with it. But again, area denial, this is what you're looking at on this one. Just does that. So let's go ahead and take a look at my actual setup in here, and we'll discuss it a little bit more. Alright, the POX. Let's go ahead and take a look at that here real quickly. Got my Vauban Prime out working on him. As you can see, I went 2 Forma. Okay. It's pretty simple setup, 98.4% here with just 2 dual stat mods. So that's fine with me. 98% of the time I'm going to pretty much proc or have a status chance, which pretty much means 100% more or less, give or take. Real simple in terms of the setup here. Barrel diffusion for your multi-shot Hornet Strike for your additional damage, lethal torrent in here. And then you can start focusing on your elements, because it's a strictly elemental type of weapon. So here I'm going with heat and corrosive, as you can see. So I've got a straight up convulsion with the jolt, okay, and then I've got pistol pestilence in there to add to it, and then I'm throwing my primed heated charge in here, which I still got to max up, but there it is, and a little bit of pistol ammo mutation. It doesn't really take much here. It doesn't have to be maxed out because you're not really refilling that much of a clip, okay. So if you work correctly and you time how you do it, you won't run out of ammo, okay. But the reason we're doing this is that heat, the proccing of the heat that gives you the panic, that causes the enemies to panic. Basically, stuns them in there for about 4 seconds in that cloud. Doesn't really stun them, but you know, it causes them to panic, so they flail around a little bit. They take the heat damage, they take the corrosive damage, which reduces the armor, um, and it all stacks on top of each other. So you can't go wrong with that combination in this, especially if you're running, like I said, aerial denials type of thing, where you're blocking doorways, you're blocking hallways from enemies coming in. The heat's going to keep proccing. It's going to stop that enemies. They're going to take the corrosive damage over and over and over and over. When the heat runs out, they take another heat proc on top of it. The heat will keep stacking itself in terms of the proc as well. So they'll just kind of keep standing there. So you just can't go wrong with this combination on this type of weapon. It's just my opinion. It's how I play it. It's just how I use it. I didn't really have to think of too many other things that are really required for this. But you can change these around to whatever you really like. It's a silent weapon, so you can't go wrong with that. You've got great 100% accuracy. You can throw this thing across the map if you know how to target it or aim it correctly. So it really cannot go wrong with this as a secondary weapon. It's just nice to have. If you got any comments or questions, please do feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in the next episodes.